Okay, welcome back, Derby fans. We're about a minute or 20 or so from getting the second game of the statewide Stampede 2023 season underway. Of course, next up on track we have Kingston City Rollers in the pink and Ballarat Roller Derby League in the black. Big welcome also to all the fans watching online at home. We trust that you're enjoying all the action today. Interesting, the last time these two teams met was at this very venue. And what a belter of a game that was. It came down to the very last jam, just 3 points in it. And Ballarat got through, picked up lead jammer, and took the victory from the jaws of defeat and took the win. So Kingston will be looking to hopefully trying to rectify that and see if they can't pick up the win today as both teams now make their way out on track. We will go through the team rosters when we can. Two very, very different looking teams for when they last met. What really hasn't changed though are the two jammers on the jammer start line, 2-2. That's Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston in the pink, and 2-2. Corey jamming for Ballarat in the black. Big shout out to all our officials for this game. Obviously on the referee side of things we have Knives to Meet You, Disaster Chief, Pee Wee, Morbid Murder, Hell's Nah, and Butcher Bird. All our non-skating officials, Achilles, Bubblegum, Donna, Dakota, Argy, Mad Mags, Oopsie, Alice, the Beast. All the awesome non-skating officials that give up their time so generously so we can go Derby. And judging by the movement of officials getting into position, the skaters are ready to go. Hawkeye's in the middle there with Hawkeye Cam. A magnificent piece of technology bringing a different perspective of roller derby back home to the fans watching online. I do know we've got some fans in New Zealand watching, so to all of our friends from across the ditch, we welcome you and we trust that you're enjoying all the action as well. So here we go. Get this one underway between Kingston City Rollers and Ballarat Roller Derby League. Trying to find some territory to the outside part of turn one. 2-2 Corey for Ballarat, jamming in the black. And nicely done then from Corey to the outside part of turn two. Gets on through lead jammer. As the pack now slowly comes down into the back straightaway. Kingston trying to establish themselves at the front. Ballarat coming through with the O, trying to bust up the Kingston defence, and nicely done. Early points in for Ballarat Roller Derby League, just the 4. Kingston yet to open their account. Number 1, Sione jamming for Ballarat. Number 7, Bam jamming for Kingston. 2 jammers on the jammer start line. Plenty of support in the stands too for these skaters. Out the front, Bam trying to work through the pack of Ballarat blockers. 266, Beck is in amongst all that, trying to hold up Bam as much as possible. 113, Nitro, Willow the Wisp rather. Also holding up Bam nicely. Getting on through rather, picking up lead jammer for Kingston. It is Bam. 1-4 code blocking for Kingston, 469, sorry. Exie also in amongst it there, trying to hold up Sione. Now the pack coming down the back straightaway, almost into turn number 3. I'll get my words out nicely. I'll get it done right one day. So it is points in for Kingston City Rollers, 3 of. So we have 166 Birdie jamming for Ballarat in the black, 2-2 Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston. With that whistle, it means let's get it on out the front, 2-2 Screw Lucy, just trying to negotiate to the inside part of the main straightaway. Ballarat defence though having none of it. Nice recycle on Birdie, back into turn number 4 there from 3-5 Carnage. So Screw Lucy getting through to the inside part of turn number 2 on the previous pass. Lead jammer Kingston. Nicely done. Birdie to the inside part of turn 2 gets on through the pack. Unfortunately for Kingston and Screw Lucy, it is a visit to the penalty box. So power jam then for Birdie and Ballarat. So just the 2 blockers out front in the form of Crush and May. Nicely done though, Birdie gets on through the pack. So the pack now sort of caught in between turns 3 and 4. 7-7 Vindicator for Ballarat picking up a penalty. Screw Lucy has served time in the penalty box, back out on track, getting on through the pack nice and quick, and 4 more points for Kingston. 166 Birdie then jamming for Ballarat with a little bit of work to do as the pack now comes down the main straightaway. Nicely done to the inside there. Killer Curls 1-6 taking Screw Lucy to the inside part of the track. Unfortunately for Birdie, it is a cut track, and that couldn't have come at a worse time because that's the end of this jam, which means Kingston are going to be on a power jam to start. So Ballarat Roller Derby League with a slender lead. They're on 12, Kingston on 10. Early stages, first half of this second game. So we get jam number 4 underway, jamming for Kingston, number 7, Bam. So a power jam start then for Kingston. So the pack now coming through turn number 2. Nicely done, Bam to the inside part of turn number 2, gets through to pick up lead jammer for Kingston. And the Ballarat blockers eagerly away at the front of the pack. Slashes in there, Beck's in there, Vindicator's in there, Snipples is in amongst it as well. Birdie has since been released back on track and immediately been held up by the Kingston blockers here in turn number 3. And the same could be said at the front of the pack. The Ballarat blockers really going to work on Bam. A little bit of territory to the inside part of turn number 4 sees Bam get on through. And it's 4 more points then for Kingston. We've got our first lead change of the game. So the pack now coming down the main straightaway. Bam looking to the outside part of turn number 1. Vindicator and Beck, the 2 Ballarat blockers down in turn number 1. Slashes in there now amongst it as well, trying to hold up Bam. And Bam's had enough and called it off. Nicely done by the Ballarat defence there, just to hold the Kingston jammer up to the point where they had to call it off. So a handy 7 points there for Kingston. They move along to 17, as I mentioned. Lead change now with Ballarat remaining on 12. So we have 2-2 Corey jamming for Ballarat, 1-2 Crush jamming for Kingston. And just like that, getting on through, picking up lead jammer, it is Corey. So the pack now coming off of turn number 2 as the Kingston blockers, well, set about trying to hold up Corey, but grabbing the 3 points. Corey has called this one off. Early stages of this game has a very, very similar feel to the last time these two teams met. It was neck and neck the whole game through. Are we going to see a repeat of 2022? Number 1 jamming for Ballarat. It is Sione. 2-2 jamming for Kingston. Screw. Nicely done. Sione picking up lead jammer for Ballarat. As the pack now comes to off of turn number 2. 1-1-1 Slasher trying to hold up Screw Lucy, but Screw Lucy more than up for the challenge. 2-6-6 Beck there just coming across the track to try and hold up Exie. Nicely done there for Sione, just the 3 points. We have another lead change. Ballarat move along now to 18. Kingston remain on 17. As we find ourselves under an official timeout, so we're just going to take a short break. Okay, with that short break done and dusted, we are back. And the action on track, we see Corey 2-2 in the black jamming for Ballarat. Nicely done, Corey gets on through, lead jammer. And it looks like we have number 7, Bam, jamming for Kingston. So as the pack make their way down the back straight away. 4-6-9 Exie trying to hold up Corey for as much as possible. So Bam with a little bit of work to do gets on through the pack. As the pack now comes back down the main straightaway heading into turn number 1. There's another 4 more points in for Ballarat. Ballarat move along to 26. Kingston remain on 17. We get jam number 8 underway. 1-6-6 Birdie jamming for Ballarat. 2-2 Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston. The blocker advantage going the way of Ballarat. Lead jammer also going the way of Ballarat. A little bit of jammer on jammer action here as we come off of turn number 4. So number 1, Sione jamming for Ballarat. 2-2, Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston. Trying to and finding some territory to the inside part of the main straightaway. It is Sione, lead jammer Ballarat. As the pack now comes off of turn 2, down into back straightaway. Nicely done there from Sione. We're going to see our first official review. I'm going to pop in the centre and just see what this is all about and see if I can't shed some light on the situation. Alrighty, welcome back, Derby fans. Thank you for your patience. We got that one all sorted out, and I'll try and put it into terms that everyone can understand, especially if you're new to roller derby, as soon as we can get a break in the game. But anyway, let's get the action back underway. Number 7, Bam, jamming for Kingston. Number 2 in the black, jamming for Ballarat. It is Corey. We'll get jam number 10 underway. 26-17 the scoreline as it stands currently. Pack now slowly coming through turn number 1 and 2. Nicely done. Corey gets on through using the inside part of turn number 2 to pick up lead jammer. Just the one blocker there. That was 266. Beck holding up Bam. But nicely done by Bam. Some fine toe-stop work to get on through. So 4 more points in for Ballarat. Starting to open up just a little bit of a lead. Ballarat on 30, Kingston still on 17. So the official review that we just had, Kingston was seeking a lack of a false start or false positioning, incorrect positioning on the black jammer, which unfortunately Kingston lost that review and there was no penalty issued. So then we have at number 1 Sione jamming for Ballarat, 2-2 Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston, and out the front of the pack getting on through lead jammer, it is Screw Lucy. As the pack now coming through turn number 2. And Kingston will be looking to get some points on the board. Nice bit of defence there, 469 Exie. Not to be outdone, number 182 May, also number 91 Murray Fury also operating up the defence. Both teams then reset their triangles on turn number 3. Oh, nicely done. Number 3-5 Carnage taking Sione to the inside part of turn number 3. The recycle's back on then. Meanwhile, all that was going on, Screw Lucy gets through the pack, and it's 4 more points then for Kingston. Not to be outdone, Sione also picking up 4 points on that previous pass. Both jammers doing a fine job. Some good points in for both teams. Picking up eight points in that previous jam. And that moves Kingston along to 25. Ballarat on 38. So we get jam number 12 underway. Number 7 jamming for Kingston in the pink. It is Bam. 166 in the black jamming for Ballarat. It is Birdie with a bit of work to do at the back of the pack. 469 Exie, number 14 Code. Offering up all the defence. 8-8 Raff's in amongst it as well, but getting on through, picking up lead jammer for Kingston, it is Bam. And now the blocker advantage comfortably with Kingston, with one of the Ballarat blockers there picking up a penalty. It looks like Lucky having a trip to the penalty box. 4 more points then for Kingston and Bam. Nicely done then from Code to take Birdie to the inside. Unfortunately though for Birdie, it is a cut track. So good opportunity here for Bam and Kingston with the power jam to pick up some points. But the Ballarat defence in the form of 266 Beck, 5-5 Snipples are going to have a lot to say about whether or not Bam can get through the pack. And Bam's had enough. Nicely done. Beck taking Bam to the inside part of the back straightaway there, forcing the call off. Very handy jam Nicely done by Bam. Another 8 points in for Kingston. They're up to 35. All of a sudden, the gap has closed right up. And this game is a mirror image of the last time these two teams met. So 2-2, Screw Lucy with the power jam start for Kingston. Trying to work the outside part of turn number 2, and successfully so. Lead jammer going the way of Screw Lucy and Kingston. Number 182, Maine, just taking a bit of a tumble. And nicely done then from Screw Lucy. Just, again, a bit of a hit it and quit it. Trying to pick up, hopefully, some points. Always good to see Code out on track. So the jammer for Kingston there, Pee-wee's just having a bit of a chat, make sure that everything was all good. So no points added to that previous jam, but we are going to have an official timeout, so I'm just going to take a bit of a break. We get the action back underway. 166 Birdie jamming for Ballarat. 1-2 Crush jamming for Kingston. Lead jammer going the way of the skaters in pink. Of course, that is Kingston City Rollers. Unfortunately for Crush, it is a trip to the penalty box. So it's now power jam for Ballarat and Birdie. Also 1-4 Code picking up a penalty. So just the one blocker then for Birdie to get through. Murray Fury nicely done, taking Birdie to the inside part of turn number 1. Turn number 4 rather. So again, Birdie trying to get to the front of the pack nice and quickly. The Kingston blockers are more than up for the challenge. And whilst all that was going on, number 1-2 Crush is back out on track after serving a penalty and wastes no time in getting some points on the board. Nicely done. Crush gets on through to the inside part of the back straight away. The Kingston blockers then at the back of the pack. That's number 1-4 Code. 182 Mayhem. Number 91 Murray Fury joining on in. 8-8 Rafts in amongst it there as well. Nicely done though. 113 Willow the Wisp just trying to hold up Crush on that previous pass. Nicely done. Nitro Gin just trying to hold up Crush here, but some real estate to the outside part of turn 4 got Crush on through. And nicely done. A very, very handy 16 points for Kingston. There's been another lead change. They skip on out now to 54. And Ballarat Roller Derby League on 38. Looks like we've got another official timeout. Big shout out to Ballarat Roller Derby League for hosting round 1 of the 2023 statewide stampede to kick the season off. There's also a cake stall here today, so as you came through the doors there, if you have a look over yonder and you see a Ballarat Roller Derby League sign, that's where the cake stall is, so make sure you help yourself to all the sweet and savoury goodies. Talk Derby to me, always a huge supporter of roller derby. Make sure you pop on over and have a look at the Talk Derby to me stall, and I believe Chico Rollers have a stall right next to Talk Derby to me. You can see it in the red over there. Make sure you check out some Dragon City Chico Rollers merchandise. We're going to have a bit of a break. Rest having a bit of a chat in the middle, and we'll be back shortly. Okay, we're just about ready to get the action back underway. And with that whistle, both jammers are released and ready to go. We've got the 22s on track. 2-2 jamming for Kingston in the pink. It is Screw Lucy. 2-2 jamming in the black. It is Corey. Of course, jamming for Ballarat. Out the front of the pack then, trying to get through to the inside part of turn number 2. It's not going to work for Screw Lucy, but the outside part of turn 2 is very nice there for Corey. Getting on through, picking up lead jammer. As the pack now comes through turn number 2. Nice little spin off out of the pack there from Corey. Nicely done. Picking up the 4 points. And with that moves Ballarat along to 42. Kingston just pick up the 1 point. They are on 52. So we have number 1 jamming for Ballarat. It is Sione in the black. Number 7 jamming for Kingston in the pink. It is Bam. And the Kingston blockers are, well, they were holding up Sione nicely there. As the pack now comes off of turn number 2, Sione trying to find some work trying to find some movement on the inside part of turn number 2. Not going to happen. So the scores still remain on 42 and 52 respectively. Kingston still holding that 10-point lead. And we're going to have another official timeout by the looks of it. Well, we were going to get that one underway, but then we've stopped. And there's still a little bit of discussion happening over on the scoreboard side of things, so hopefully we'll get that sorted out soon and we can get the action back underway. Special shout out to the Arc, which is where we find ourselves today. Obviously the Arc is a fantastic supporter of roller derby and have been so now for quite some time. It's a great facility to play roller derby at, to commentate at, to spectate at. So we thank the ARC and all the staff here for making us always feel welcome. And a big shout out to all our referees in the black and white stripes, for without them we can't go roller derby. They look after the skaters, they officiate the games, and they give up their time so generously. So we do thank each and every one of the referee crew that are here today. So we've got some track repair going on to the inside and the outside part of the main straightaway. Frank at the end of that timeout. As we get this one underway, of course, Jam, number 17, 1-2 crush. Jamming for Kingston, bit of a smile and a wave there. Lee Jammer going the way of Kingston, 166 birdie, jamming for Ballarat. The Ballarat defence now going to work on trying to hold up Crush for as long as possible. 5-5 Snipples is out there, number 7 Nitro Gin, 266 Beck caught at the back of the pack, so Kingston are very much aware that if they can eliminate the damage in terms of available blockers from the Ballarat side of things, then their jam is going to get through and score points, as Crush did on that previous pass. It's 4 more points then for Ballarat. A bit of multitasking here, try and take some photos while we can. Look at that. Excellent. So the black Ballarat defence then, 5-5 Snipples and 266 Beck, 113 Willow the Wisp. Doing a good job trying to hold up Crush on that previous pass, but Crush more than up for the challenge. Unfortunately though, the blocker advantage is going to go the way of Kingston in this next jam. So another handy 16-point jam for Kingston. They're starting to stretch the lead a little bit. They're on 71, Ballarat on 42. As we get jam number 18 underway. Number 2 jamming for Ballarat in the black. It is Corey and Lee Jammer. Jamming for Kingston, number 7, Bam. Nicely done by Bam, gets through on the outside part of turn number 2. With 2 blockers in the penalty box of Ballarat, the blocker advantage going the way of Kingston. Just the one blocker to get past Bam. Nicely done. Spinning off of Nitro Gin on the previous pass, coming out of turn number 4. Bit of work to do for Corey though, coming through the back of the pack now. Met solidly by 469 Exie. Nice bit of defence there from number 38 for Ballarat. Roast Mortem just letting Bam know all about it. 7 points there for Bam. 4 points for Corey in that previous jam. Ballarat on 46, Kingston on 78. 2-2, Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston. Number 1, Sione jamming for Ballarat. The Kingston defence got nicely split open there by 1-6 Killer Curls. That allowed Sione to get on through. But the lead jammer is with Kingston and Screw Lucy. And that one's going to come to an end before it even really started, in terms of point scoring anyway. .166 Birdie jamming for Ballarat. 2-2 Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston as we get jam number 20 underway. And immediately the Kingston blockers set about giving Birdie plenty to think about. Meanwhile, at the front of the pack, 2-2 Screw Lucy with just the one blocker to get past. That was number 7 Nitro Gin. Screw Lucy it is then with lead jammer for Kingston. As the pack kind of split between the midsection of the main straightaway into turn number 1. And again, the Kingston defence, 182 May, number 88 Raf, 469 Exie giving Birdie, the Ballarat jammer, a ton of work to do at the back of the pack. Not so though for Screw Lucy. At the front of the pack then jamming for Kingston. Getting through, getting some nice points. The Ballarat defence in the form of 5-5 Snipples, number 7 Nitro Gin, 266 Beck. Doing a fine job of holding up Screw Lucy. That was until number 9-1 Murray Fury for Kingston offered up some good defence as the pack now comes down the back straight away. And it's 4 more points in for Kingston and Screw Lucy. Nice bit of defensive work there. 2-6-6 Beck holding up Screw Lucy on the entry into turn number 3, but time clock beat everyone. Looks like we have another official review, so I'm going to make my way into the centre and see if we can decipher this one. Alrighty, so I believe... So Ballarat were seeking the cut track penalty assessed to 555, who is currently sitting in the penalty box, to be overturned. Unfortunately, with the evidence provided, that call will stand. And unfortunately for Ballarat, they lose that official review. So it is then going to be a power jam start for 1-2 Crush and Kingston. As the pack now heading on down into turns 1 and 2. So a little bit of territory for Crush to work with to the inside part of turn number 2. Gets it on through, gets it off. That's one in the bank. And that one's very much a tactical call-off for reasons which will be explained at the beginning of the second half. So that does bring us to the half-time break here between Kingston and Ballarat. We're going to take a short 14-minute break. Scores at half-time, Ballarat on 46. Kingston with a nice little 50-point lead at the half-time break. They're in 96. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back shortly. We're not too far off then making a resumption in this game between Ballarat and Kingston. Good to see a very healthy serving of fans in the stand here today. This is awesome. So we get this one then underway. 2-2 Screw Lucy jamming for Kingston. Of course, it is a power jam start for Kingston. There's a pack slowly coming into turn number 1. Both teams going at it pretty hard defensively. 469 exits the recycle on 5-5 Snipples. Since being released out of the penalty box, back out on track. Nicely done, Snipples to the outside of turn 2, Lee Jammer, Ballarat. Not to be outdone, Screw Lucy also now getting through the pack. Nice start there for Ballarat, just picking up the 3 points. They move along then to 49. Kingston yet to add to their half-time tally of 96. So we have 2-2 Corey in the black jamming for Ballarat. Number 7 in the pink jamming for Kingston is Bam. So we get jam number 2 underway. Working out the front, trying to get a way through, and nicely so, Corey, Lee Jammer, Ballarat. As the pack now comes through turns 1 and 2. Bam getting on through the pack. It's 4 more points in for Corey and Ballarat. The pack now slowly coming into turn number 3. Unfortunately, it's a penalty in for Corey, so it's a power jam now for Bam and Kingston, picking up 4 points on that previous pass. 469 Exie trying to put up the O and bust up this Ballarat defence. 266 Beck holding up Bam nicely there. The rest of the Ballarat blockers also join in. Number 7 Nitro Gin chased out and he's on, but Bam's already through and getting up another 4 points. Nicely done by Corey coming off of turn number 2 since being released out of the penalty box. So now the pack coming through into turn number 4 and the Kingston blockers again setting about trying to hold up Corey. Oh, nicely done. May taking Corey out to the outside part of turn number 4, the recycle. Recycle on Corey back into turn 3, but that particular jam had expired. So very, very nice haul of points there for Ballarat. 14, in fact, moving them along to 63. 12 points for Kingston, and with that they go over the 100 mark. 108 playing 63. As we get this jam number 3 underway, it is number 1 in the black jamming for Ballarat, Sione. Jamming for Kingston, number 1, 2 in the pink, that is Crush. There's a pack now coming through turns 1 and 2. Nicely done by Sione. A nice little dip under the Kingston blocker there. That was Cody on that pass, previous pass. So the pack now coming through turns 3 and 4. The action is right in front of us. Unfortunately though for Sione, it is a forearm, so this is now a power jam for Kingston. And the star pass successfully done by Kingston. 469 Exie is now the recognised jammer. and immediately has an impact. 4 points being added to the Kingston total. It's Pat now working on down the main straightaway. 9-1, Murray Fury just holding up. Number 5-5 there for Ballarat. That was Snipples. So just the one blocker then out front for Exie to negotiate. Number 9-7. That's lucky. Nicely done by Exie just to find some territory to get on through. And it's 4 more points for both jammers on that previous pass. As the pack now comes down into the pack now coming to turn number 3. A lot of action going on down the back straightaway here. Kingston holding up Sione nicely. And whilst that was happening, Exie picking up another 4 points for Kingston. So Ballarat just picking up the 6 points in that previous pass. Moves them along to 69. 12 points in for Kingston. And they move along to 120. So number 2-2 jamming for Ballarat. It is Corey. 2-2 jamming for Kingston is Screw Lucy as that pack now comes through turns 1 and 2. Both teams now setting up defensively on the back straightaway. So number 1 for Ballarat in the black jammer, it is Sione. Number 7 jamming for Kingston in the pink, it is Bam. Pack's got a bit of speed about it. As to the jammers, oh, nicely done to the outside part of turn 3, Sione cutting away nicely through. The Ballarat defence, though, doing a pretty good job at holding up Bam. As the pack now comes down the main straightaway, but Bam's seen enough, but not before. Sione could pick up 4 more points for Ballarat, moving them along to 77. Looks like just the 2 points in for Kingston. They find themselves on 122. So 2-2 jamming for Kingston in the pink. It is Screw Lucy. 166 Birdie in the black jamming for Ballarat. Pack now slowly making its way into turn number 1. It's 4 more points in for Screw Lucy and Kingston as the pack now coming through into turn number 2. Nicely done to the outside for Screw Lucy. 166. Sorry, 1-6, I apologise. Killer Curls is now the recognised jammer for Ballarat. So Kingston there on that previous pass, picking up 16 points. Moving along to 138, Ballarat remain on 77. And we find ourselves under an official timeout. You need drone cam, so when the James get through, the camera can be over the top of them and follow them around the track. So it's a thing called the wire. Alrighty. So after that little break, we are back. So 2-2 jamming for Ballarat in the black, Corey. 1-2 in the pink jamming for Kingston. It is crushed. As we get jam number 7 underway. So beautifully done, Corey, picking up lead jammer. And so both jammers now meeting up with the pack. Oh, a bit of a tumble of skaters coming off into turn number 3. And that didn't faze Corey too much. 4 points picked up for Ballarat. Also Crush picking up 4 points as well as the pack now coming on down the main straightaway into turn number 1. And with that 4 points, Corey has called it off. So 8 points then for Ballarat on that previous jam. They move along to 85. Just a 7 for Kingston. And they move along to 145. So number 2 jamming for Kingston in the pink. It is Screw Lucy. Number 1 jamming for Ballarat in the black, and picking up lead jammer, it is Sione. Nicely done by 469 Exie, taking Sione to the inside part of turns 1 and 2. And that'll be the end of that. No points then being added. So we're going to have a team timeout. Kingston have called a team timeout. Okay, so we get that timeout, or timeouts, all done and dusted. 2-2, jamming for Ballarat. It is Corey. Lead jammer also going the way of Ballarat. Number 7, Bam, jamming for Kingston. There's a little bit of work to do as the pack now comes around into turn number 2. Nicely done to the outside part of turn 2 for Corey there. The Ballarat defence holding up very nicely. 2-6-6 Beck, 9-7 Lucky, 5-5 Snipples doing all the hard work trying to hold up the Kingston jammer. 1-8-2, which was mayhem. So the blocker advantage is going to go the way of Kingston, unfortunately. 7-7 Vin, 2-6-6 Beck. 2 blockers for Ballarat are going to start this jam in the penalty box. 1-2 Crush, number 1 Sione. Oh, big hit by number 3-5 there from Kingston. It was carnage. Unfortunately though for Sione, for Ballarat, it is a trip to the penalty box. So power jam then for Crush and Kingston. And Crush wasting no time and getting on through and getting as many points as possible whilst Kingston had this blocker advantage. And the Kingston jammer, Kingston bench, very quick to call that one off. But not before 8 more points could be added to the Kingston total. They move along now to 153, Ballarat on 92. So it will be a power jam start for Kingston. 2-2, Screw Lucy. We'll get things underway. So just at the front of the pack then for Screw Lucy, and just one more blocker to negotiate. Nicely done, gets on through for lead jammer and Kingston. Not to be outdone, Sione returning to the track after serving a penalty. So the last couple of jams, Kingston have adopted a hit it and quit it style. Just get as many points as possible, usually only 4. Get it called off. (166) Birdie jamming for Ballarat. Number 7 Bam jamming for Kingston. Nice bit of defensive work there from Ballarat. 1-6 Killer Curls, 2-6-6 Beck. Nicely done, Birdie getting on through, picking up lead jammer. And the star pass then for Kingston has been successfully completed. 182 May is now the recognised jammer for Kingston. But unfortunately for Birdie, it is a trip to the penalty box. So it is a power jam then for Kingston. So just the 2 blockers out front for May to have to negotiate. Kingston, meanwhile, at the back of the pack have isolated one of the Ballarat blockers. It looks like 2-6-6 Beck. Birdie has returned to the track after serving a penalty. 9-7, Lucky trying to hold up May. Nicely done, except unfortunately for Lucky, taking a bit of a tumble, which allowed May to get on through. So the pack now stuck on turn number 3 as both jammers make their way around. The Kingston blockers doing a pretty hefty job at holding up Birdie, and this one is all done and dusted. 6 points then for Ballarat, moving them along to 98. 15 points for Kingston. They move along to 172. As Ballarat have called a team timeout, so we're going to take a little bit of a break. If you haven't made your way outside, Derby fans, I suggest you do. Grab yourself a cup of coffee or a latte or a hot chocolate for the kids. Deja Brew. Very, very fine coffee indeed. I've got a cup of coffee up here, and let me tell you, as a typical Melbourne coffee snob, it is a fine drop indeed. Also, we've got the bake sale on the far side of the track where you came into the venue there. It's got the Ballarat Roller Derby banner over the front of the table. Make sure you make your way over there. Plenty of baked treats, sweet and savoury, on offer. With 11:50 to go in this game, the second game, opening weekend of the 2023 statewide Stampede season. We have the two 22s on track. Corey for Ballarat, Screw for Kingston. Corey's in the black, Screw's in the pink. Trying to find a way through. Nicely done, Corey, to the outside of turn number 1. Lead jammer, Ballarat. A little bit of work to do for Screw Lucy coming off the pack there onto the back straightaway. Now the pack comes into turn number 3, and Corey's happy just to grab those 4 points and call this one off and put it in the bank. With that 4 points, Ballarat cracked the ton. They are 102. Kingston now with a very comfortable lead, 70-point lead. In fact, they are on 172. One-two, crush jamming for Kingston. That was a big hit there on one of the Ballarat blockers. I think that was 266 back. Number 1 jamming for Ballarat. It is Sione. And again, Kingston more than happy to just try and control the jam as best they can. And if you can get some points along the way, even better. So 166 birdie. Number 1, 2, Crush are the two jammers that will get this one underway. 166, of course, birdie jamming for Ballarat. Number 1, 2 in the pink jamming for Kingston. It is Crush. As the pack now comes through turn number 1. That was just a little bit too easy there for Crush on that previous pass. It's 4 more points. As the pack now comes down the back straightaway, almost into turn number 3. That's where the jammers are going to find all the action. Nicely done there from Ballarat, Roast Mortem, Vindicator, lucky in amongst it all there. And Crusher seen enough and called it off. Of course, immediately after this game we have the ModCon skaters, the next gen of awesomeness, as I like to call it. Black versus white. As we get jam number 16 underway, 22 jamming for Ballarat. It is Corey in the black, 22 jamming for Kingston in the pink. It is Screw Lucy. As the pack now comes down the back straightaway, heading into turn number 3. The recycle is on then for Nitro Gen. 266. Nicely done, except picking up a forearms course, so that's a trip to the penalty box. So nicely done there for Screw Lucy, trying to find some territory to the outside part of turn number 1, not going to work. Elects to go to the inside part of turn 2, a little bit more successful. It's 4 more points in for Screw and Kingston. Corey, number 2 for Ballarat, has since been released back out into the track as well. All the action now coming into turn number 3, right in front of the commentary desk. Nicely done there. I think that was 266. Beck letting Screw Lucy know what it's all about. $22 points there for Screw Lucy in that previous jam. Very nice indeed. And with that, Kingston move along to 199. 3 points in for Ballarat. They move along to 106. As we get jam number 17 underway. Number 1 jamming for Ballarat is Sione. And just like that, Sione gets on through, lead jammer for Ballarat. Back in turn 1 and with a bit of work to do, bam for Kingston. The Ballarat blockers giving Bam plenty to think about. Nicely done from Sione on that previous pass, and very fancy footwork to the inside part of turn 2. And with that knock to the inside of the track, Sione has seen enough and called it off. Not before banking 5 more points. Moving Ballarat along to 111. Kingston remain on 199. And we've got just a tick on 5 minutes to go in this game. So 1-2 Crush, just the one blocker there in 266 Beck. Crush gets on through. It is lead jam at Kingston. Number 77 there, Vindicator taking a hit to the inside part of turn number 1. Unfortunately though for Kingston, it's going to be a power jam then for Ballarat. Number 1, 2, Crush and picking up a penalty. So 166 birdie and a power jam then for Ballarat, as the cavalry arrived to try and offer up some O to try and break up this Kingston defence that are holding up birdie nicely. 469 Exie with a nice hit to the inside part of turn number 3. Number 77 Vin elects to drop back to try and again bust up this Kingston defence. And they're not having any of it. Trying to go to the outside part. Nicely done though from the Kingston defence. The recycling was brilliant. Birdie had a slight opportunity to get up and go, but the Kingston defence were all over it. So the recycling for birdie is almost back into turn, well it is deep into turn number 4. 182 Mayhem is going to be the first skater that birdie sees, but nicely done. And we're going to have an official timeout, so I'm going to have a bit of a break.
Yeah, of course. I don't know what's going on with this. It's quite rare.
All right, we're back live. Number 1 jamming for Ballarat and lead jammer. It is Sione. Number 2 jamming for Kingston. It was Screw Lucy. Sione picking up the 2 points there. Screw Lucy just the 1. So Kingston find themselves on 204. Ballarat with that 2 points move along to 113. And we've got just a tick over 2 minutes remaining in this game. And it's a very comfortable lead to the skaters in pink. 2-2 Corey jamming for Ballarat in the black. Number 7 jamming in the pink for Kingston. It is Bam. As the pack now coming through turn number 1. Trying to and finding some real estate to the inside part of turn number 2. Getting on through Bam. Nicely done. Lead jammer going the way of Kingston. So the pack now coming through into turns 3 and 4. Nicely done. 5-5 Snipples taking Bam to the inside part of turn 4. Also nicely done, previous pass there for Corey. Picking up 4 more points for Ballarat. That's another 4 points in for Bam. As the pack now almost off the back straightaway into turn number 3. And with that nice hit from Vin on Bam, Bam seen nothing on that, that'll do. Vin gives off a cheeky smile saying, I didn't really mean to hit you that hard, but I did. It looks like we've got another OR, so I'm going to bugger off in the centre.
Review was for Ballarat was seeking a lack of an illegal contact made on the pink jammer down here on the track. That call, unfortunately, for Ballarat stands, so they lose their official review. I might stay on this mic, actually. Bugger it, I'm not sitting down. It's the end of the game. I'm going to stand up, stretch my legs. 1-6-16, Birdie jamming for Ballarat. 1-2-2-2, in fact, jamming for Kingston, that is Screw Lucy. Nicely done then from 1-2. That's Crush taking Birdie all the way back into turn number 4. Didn't stop Screw Lucy though, getting on through, picking up lead jammer for Kingston. So the initial pass for Screw's all done and dusted. It's all points from here on in. And there's 4 more points to be added to Kingston's total. Bit of a tumble there for Screw Lucy coming into turn number 1. Nothing of it though. Birdie unfortunately having a bit of a tough time of it. Trying to get on through. 4-6-9 exit taken Birdie to the outside part of the track, and that will just about do it. The unofficial final score between these two teams. So both jammer refs now will make sure T's are crossed, I's are dotted before we can put this one in the books. And before I can invite all the fans in the stand to come on down and offer up a high five to these two teams. So with that rolling whistle, it is at the end of this game. Kingston City Rollers taking the win, 212 to Ballarat 121. Second game of the opening weekend of the statewide Stampede season. So with that, I would offer the fans in the stand the opportunity to come on down trackside and offer up a high five to their favourite skater. I'm going to do likewise, except they're all favourite skaters of mine. There's no bias. As both teams now setting up, looks like Kingston are going to offer up the track to Ballarat to take off first. And indeed they do. On their way, Lucky, Roast, Vin, Snipples, Birdie, Slasher, Killer Curls, Nitrogen, Beck, Corey, Sione. As the skaters now making their way around the track. Fantastic game there. Quite unlucky. Nice one, Roast. There's Vin, there's Snips. There's Birdie. Nice one, Slash. Curls is in amongst it, as is Jen. There's Beck, Corey, Sione, all the gang, Screw, Code, Crush, Mayhem, Exy. They're all in there. Fury's in there, Bam's in there. Congratulations to Kingston City Rollers again taking out the win, 212 to Ballarat 121. I'm going to sign off and somebody else is going to take over from here on in. My name's JR. I've had fun. I hope you've had fun. To all the gang watching at home, don't go too far away because we've got the ModCon coming up next. As soon as all the team photos and everything have been done and dusted. That's me done. Yes. Hello.
Are you sure that's off? Chat. Oh, they've even got a little